Okay, ladies and gents, this is my 1967 Mercedes w110. I've just replaced the clutch slave and clutch master cylinders, and I'm just going to show you how to bleed those up, because it can be very difficult, and they're notoriously difficult. And I'll show you here in under the left hand wheel. Now this is an Australian car, so it is right hand drive, but it will also be applicable to anybody that has a left hand drive as well. As you can see, in under here is the new slave cylinder, which has been fitted by myself, and the new master cylinder in the 67 and the second series of these cars. They're actually located inside the car and under the dash here, so you will see it there. That's her there. Now it does have an elliptical adjustment bolt at the top, which you really can't see, where the push rod attaches to the clutch pedal. Now that elliptical screw, or that elliptical bolt in these second series cars has a mark on it, and that mark, when it's fitted, actually needs to be pointed towards the back of the car. Now that elliptical screw allows for a small clearance within the master cylinder here, so that the clutch does not stay on when it shouldn't be on, and it also makes sure that the clutch actually goes down far enough once it's in use. So I'll show you how to bleed these up now. Now many people will tell you to gravity bleed them, or bleed them in a traditional way, but what I've found you need is some of this clear plastic hose. This is just a vinyl hose, and it's 5mm in diameter, the hole. What you do is you connect one end of this to the bleed nipple on your front caliper, which is here, and the other end to the bleed nipple on your clutch slave cylinder, which is there. Once they're connected up, I'll show you what to do. You'll need a second person for this, somebody inside the car to operate the pedals for you. Okay, so what I have here is my vinyl hose, which is connected to the bleed nipple on the front caliper, and the other end of that hose is connected to the bleed nipple on my clutch slave. Now the bleed nipple on that clutch slave is open, and it stays open throughout this whole process. At the moment, this bleed nipple is closed, and what you're going to do is, together with your helper, who's going to be sitting in the driver's seat, okay, you're going to open and close this nipple. Now the person in the driver's seat doesn't touch the clutch, or it's all about the brake. So you get them to pump the brake 3 times, and on the 3rd time keep their foot on the brake. Then we release this to open up that nipple, and then their foot should go to the floor, and you'll notice brake fluid or hydraulic fluid going up this hose. Okay, once the brake pedal hits the floor, okay, the person needs to tell you that it's hit the floor. You close the nipple off, and then wait for the pedal to rise again, and then get them to repeat it. So pump 3 times. When they've pumped it 3 times, they need to let you know. You open the nipple, okay, and you'll see more fluid going up this hose, and then you
when the brake pedal hits the floor, you close it. Okay, you need to repeat that probably about 10 times. I'd probably go a dozen just to be on the safe side. Now, this process works by reverse priming the clutch. So basically what happens is you force clutch fluid up this hose, up into the slave cylinder, which then connects to the master cylinder and then up into the reservoir. Now, as I said, you need to do it about a dozen times because you probably get maybe 10 inches of fluid coming up this line for every time you pump that brake pedal. Now, once you've done it about a dozen times, close off the valve, the bleed nipple here, the bleed nipple at the clutch slave, and then try the clutch pedal. If the clutch pedal hits the floor, okay, then you need to continue pumping the brake pedal. Okay, but if your clutch pedal doesn't hit the floor and you can see that the slave cylinder is operating correctly, so the push rod is moving in and out and activating and deactivating the clutch, then you know that you have done it successfully. Now, this process works for any of these cars that have a single reservoir for both the clutch and the brake fluid, which you can see there. So there's a clutch line and a brake line that comes out of that cylinder there. Now, I hope this has been useful for you, and you can bleed yours up a little bit faster than I was able to bleed up mine after trying everything in the book. All right, have a great day, leave some comments, and let me know how you get on.